It's Tuesday night. Get ready.
Do
for
you
the
know where your
greatest
children
show.
are?
I don't know where I'm going with this. This is USfanTV. He is Chest Rockwell. I'm Brock Landers. Actually, he's Chris, and I'm Pat. We do these shows Tuesday nights and Thursday nights where we talk about soccer as it relates to the United States of America. Sometimes I don't say this at the start of the show. There's probably people tuning in. They're like, what the hell is this? That's what it is. That's what we do. Sometimes we just jump right in with something stupid. Here's something stupid. Was it a soccer thing tonight for my son? It was like this big indoor.
That's pretty offensive about your child. That's not very nice.
It was at this big indoor facility, and I happened to glance over at one of the groups that was older than him having a game. All the kids, it was a tryout, so all the kids came dressed in whatever they wanted to dress in. And there was I think they were doing like a 1v1 drill, and there was a kid in a Mexico jersey and a kid in a Clint Dempsey jersey. And I didn't yell because that would be embarrassing. But deep down, I was really hoping that Deuce made it by him, and he did. He won the 1v1 battle. And I was really proud of that kid. I don't even know who he is.
Did you scream, America?
No, but I felt it. I felt it.
This is what freedom feels like.
I felt it. I'm like, come on. You know, we're on a roll. We got the U17s and the U20s, and now we've got this 1v1
It's not even going to matter by the time you're old enough.
So, yeah, that's where I'm at right now. We got lots of topics tonight. You know what you might hear about tonight? You might hear about Gedion Zelalem. You might hear about Fabian Johnson. We might talk about the new training tops that have the stars, and the rumor that let's start here. I think this is where we start right here.
Oh, I'm totally in on that, because
not only that,
if these really are made, and I assume they're somewhere made, because they even have the little tab on them. Yeah.
That site's pretty good.
Footy headlines is like spot on. I mean, if they say something's happening, it happens. But on top of it, the jerseys actually have the little Nike like authentic tag or whatever in the bottom left-hand corner. I assume this is happening. I must own one of those.
And you heard the rumor about what the Gold Cup jersey will be. Waldo 2.
Think about that. We could have another version of the Waldo. Now I hope they do it justice, and it's not like, well, it was better the first time, like a garage band or something. But yeah, I mean, think about that. We could have these as a practice jersey and then go to the other half of the flag for games. Maybe Nike's finally listening.
It seems like it. It seems like they are, because they're going from boring template that we give every team to what seems like it's going to be something awesome. So, and at the very least, yeah, I'm getting that practice jersey. Now, here's the thing with that.
Yeah.
Though. It's a little loud. It's not something you're going to wear to a non-soccer event. If you show up as the guy dressed in like the shirt with stars all over it, it's a little strange. You're not Elton John. But to a game, yeah, hell yeah.
I wear shoes that look like that.
You do.
With red and white striped laces in them. Like, this is like a dream come true for me. I just need to find a ridiculous hat. I still haven't found the hat that fits. Maybe it's going to be one of those flag cowboy hats. I don't know. I need something for those days when it's like too sunny and too hot. You got to wear a hat or something.
You bought the red Irish flat cap in Nashville last time.
I did, actually.
Bring that out. Got it next to you?
You mean
literally right next to you?
Literally sitting on the table here.
What are the odds of that?
I told my girlfriend a few minutes ago that, yeah, I actually got this when we were in Nashville for the last game we were there for. I guess the last time the U.S. was there, not to say.
We are going to be in Nashville this summer for the Gold Cup. We have a place, and it has we haven't talked about this, but I think, because we've got this Airbnb that your girlfriend rented, and it's got like this view of the bridge and the stadium and stuff like that. I think we do that with the backdrop. We do the show right there.
Maybe, yeah, that might actually be a good idea.
So that's something to look forward to. I will also be in Denver. I don't know if you will.
I'll have to see. Speaking of locations, though, unless we are going to continue with the jersey discussion, there is the new announcement of Ghana in the July 1st game just before the Gold Cup.
Yes.
our old nemesis.
in
Not so old, but
East
becoming
Hartford, Connecticut.
old. Yeah, really. I wish they brought that one to, I don't know, at least DC or maybe Chicago, someplace where like a lot of people could go to the game. I mean, it's the Northeast. A lot of people can go to the game, but I don't know, more people from more cities, I guess, more locations in the country. Because yeah, East Hartford, it's not far from New York if you're going to fly into like the city and then drive there or something, but it's not exactly a convenient place to get to. I mean, you can fly into Albany, you can fly into Boston. They're not too far.
Providence.
Providence, yeah.
But
whatever, yeah. But you know, for Ghana, I'd kind of like to go to that game. I'd like to go there and like harass them.
Yeah, I mean, it's
because this is
kind of a rivalry.
Yeah, this is the way a rivalry is supposed to come. Like we've got Mexico until Canada gets its shit together. Like we don't have another rival locally, really. Costa Rica, it's really just Mexico. Internationally, oh come on, Ghana's our rival. Like we can go harass these guys, and it can mean something.
Yeah, I mean it's what are we 1-2 against them in the last 3 World Cups? Yeah. But they knocked us out twice, so that's not good. Got him in the last one though. We got the screaming deuce goal off the start of the match, and then Josie's hamstring exploding not long after that.
Yeah, Josie's hamstring destroying the rest of the World Cup for the most part. But yeah, I mean, hey, we got big goals in that game, and it made the bomb pop a favorite.
It did. Also, we have it appears the last 2 home games of the Hex in September and October are going to be at Red Bull Arena in Harrison, New Jersey, and then the new stadium in Orlando. We'll get the final one. This is according to Sports Illustrated. It might have been Grant Wall. It might have been Brian Strauss. I don't know.
Grant Wall, I think, broke it, but yeah, it's or at least broke it on Twitter. But yeah, it's down to SI.
Yeah, that's you know, the stadium in New Jersey.
We do know that one is awesome.
We can vouch for is awesome. The area around it is shit, but the actual stadium is incredible, and the one in Orlando looks even better than that. It's a stadium I really want to go to. So I think it's awesome that we're going to do one there. I'm kind of stunned that the Northwest didn't get one. Last year I remember saying to you that, you know, we're going to go to the Seattle or Portland World Cup qualifier, whichever city gets it. I was sure they were going to get one.
Yeah.
It seems strange, but they're not. So, you know, I get why they don't get in-season friendlies or in-season qualifiers, because it's another 3 or 4 hours that the players have to fly from Europe to get over here. But for a middle of the summer match, yeah, why not? I mean, they're soccer crazy up there. They've done well in the past. They should have a match, but
they do well with the crowds.
They do not as well as the Germans. Germans love crowds and chanting, but they do well with the crowds in the Northwest as well, and they should have a game. So.
Yeah, Douglas and Mike Woodward, you guys talking about Josie here for the next World Cup. Frankly, I'd rather see the Flying Hawaiian up top than Josie, and it's not to knock him, because really Josie's numbers, and you're kind of right, Mike, that his numbers are deceptive, but at the same time, he's done a really good job for the U.S. Overall. I mean.
Yeah.
When you start looking at his numbers, it's like first to this or youngest to this, you know, for a guy who, I don't know, seems to maybe fail as much as he does, or gets as many kind of knocks by fans as he does, he's actually done really well and really produced well for the U.S. Now, having said that, Bobby Wood sure looks like he can do most of what Josie can do. Plus, he's just a better goal scorer. And I think he has a better, well, I don't think you have to say I think, but has a better first touch. So to me, I'd rather see, if you're not going to pair them, because depending on how we're going to shoehorn Clint Dempsey in there possibly, because the way he's been playing, and then Pulisic and where you're going to position him and things, we may end up with only one guy up top. And frankly, I'd rather have Bobby Wood than Josie. And it, it's not even to knock Josie. I think it's just that Bobby Wood's playing so well.
Yeah, I mean, Mike says Josie's always been better for club than country. Maybe don't include Sunderland in that, but
Sunderland, Villarreal,
Sunderland
Hull
fans
City
would disagree. But other than that, yeah, that's true. But I he's been all right. I think that he will make the team next year. But like you said, I think that I'd rather see Bobby Wood starting. But that this is a fantasy world because this is everybody's healthy, and when do we ever get this luxury? So
yeah,
somebody will be hurt, and we'll have to figure it out from there. But
I mean, speaking of health, we do have one Fabian Johnson returning.
True. He trained today in a limited capacity, according to the Gladbach Twitter feed. They put up some pictures. That's cool to see. So, I rate him. We both rate him probably as our second best player right now. On the team. And he's going to be, I guess I don't really care that much if he plays in the Gold Cup, but I do care if he plays in the 2 qualifiers. And looks like maybe he will. It's May 2nd, so that gives him plenty of time to sort of ease back into the lineup. Maybe get. I thought maybe he'd be done for the season, but maybe he'll get a game.
Yeah, I can see where maybe they'll trot him out. They may like try to work him in a little bit just to get him some time and get him playing again. But yeah, I was kind of surprised at this point that they'd really be bringing him back, because in the end, how much are you really going to gain
3 matches
from
to go in the Bundesliga, right?
They do, right, yeah.
34 instead of 38 like England. So I think they're on 31 right now, so it would be 3, according to my math, which might be wrong. But yeah, maybe he gets a game. Maybe he just trains, which is fine with me. But
I just want him back to strength and full health.
Absolutely. He's key. And I'd like to see what Bruce wants to do with him too. We were kind of robbed of that opportunity, but is he going to play midfield? Is he going to go back to left back? I don't think so. I think he's going to play midfield, but when you're jamming everybody up top, when you're trying to get everybody in the lineup, if you've got, 2 forwards and if you got Clint as number 10 and then you shift Pulisic right, maybe you put Fabian on the left. It gets, I don't know, a little crowded up there, but should work. But he's got to be in the lineup somewhere. And we've both said that to us, a player of that talent level, it makes more sense to have him in the midfield than it does in the left back position.
Yeah,
especially
I mean, really,
with Villafaña.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what
that's what you just typed.
That's what some of the guys are talking about right now. Like I think it was Watching Crows asked, does that make Villafaña the number 1 left back? Yes, I think absolutely. In the end, until Pulisic revealed himself.
Hello.
Why, hello.
With a cloak.
Yes, exactly. Until we found out what we had there, Fabian's been our best player for the last, 2 years, maybe at least, maybe 3. I don't know. I mean, I think by pure talent, until you started counting Pulisic, he was our best player.
Yeah.
And to me, you just don't, I think to us, you just don't stick that guy back as a left back or as a fullback, as a defender. It's too much territory to cover, if nothing else, because you want him leading into the attack. I mean, if nothing else, you see the way he and Bradley worked together to score against Turkey in that, speaking of a game in Harrison, New Jersey at Red Bull Arena in the lead up to the last World Cup, one of the send-off games there. Their way, the vision they had, the passing they had together, and the ball that Bradley played to him, and then the finish Fabian had. These are things that you don't want to, unless you're Roberto Carlos. you don't want this coming out of the back. And in that case, you only had it because look at all the other guys they had. So, you know, it just becomes why make such a player work so hard to get into your offense? You'd rather see him up there helping to generate offense, maybe drawing some heat from other players so they can help generate offense. And on top of it, we know he's a pretty good defender. As a midfielder, he can play defense too. So to me, you get it's the best of both worlds.
Yeah. We'll get to Zelalem in a second here, guys, but this just occurred to me. If we're going to have two up top and we're going to have Clint at the number 10 and Fabian on the left and Pulisic on the right, and you're still going to do four in the back, which I think Bruce is going to do, that leaves only one spot in the defensive midfield area, and I wonder if it's not going to be Kellen Acosta instead of Michael Bradley.
I think it's interesting. I could see Acosta getting his chance to do something like that in the Gold Cup. I don't think he's going to get the shot yet at the full international level. You know, at the full senior, like, you know, in qualifiers and things. I think Bradley in the end is just still too important. I mean, this is his team. I don't think you're going to replace him yet.
Here they come. The Bradley haters are going to start firing up.
But having said that, Acosta's showing a lot of stuff right now.
Oh, he's good. He's good.
I mean, he looked timid. He looked maybe nervous when he got to play in the last game. But at the same time, yeah, he doesn't have a lot of experience. You know, some nerves are probably to be expected. Having said that, he sure looked good in CONCACAF Champions League. And, you know, he's showing that he can play and score from defensive midfielder. So he can take that role and add more offense to it. You know, Bradley has shown that at times, but it's been a while. So
I do think that Jones disrupts Bradley, though.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I think Bradley is actually a better player without Jermaine Jones out there. Don't hate us, Jermaine, but you mess things up, I think, sometimes. So, yeah, Douglas says he likes Dax. I do too. As a Chicago guy, I like what I've seen from Dax so far a lot. So, I would like to see Dax in there too. I think at worst case, Dax makes the bench, but maybe we'll see more from him. And when there's more games this summer than usual with the Gold Cup, we might see him out there. Should we talk about Gedion?
I think we should, because after all, as we're discussing the Gold Cup, I think he's one of the guys who has a chance. I don't know. I mean, he hasn't been playing enough. Well, whatever. We can jump to, yeah, he's been called up. That's the one, I think, call-up we already know for the U20 World Cup. I think in a lot of ways, he's getting this call-up now as a way to try and, like, sell him during the summer, because he's just not getting enough playing time at Venlo. Venlo. Gedion is just not getting the playing time. And
yeah, this loan move hasn't been as successful as the one last year to Rangers. I don't think he's going to be back at Arsenal after this either. I think they may be done with him, but we'll see. I don't know who's going to be back at Arsenal, so that's a whole different topic. But it's – I guess it's cool to have him playing with the U20s in the World Cup. The fact that his club was willing to just go, yeah, go ahead, you're not important here, is not the best sign.
And it's not even like it's a top level club. I mean, you know, he didn't even go to a top flight club for his loan. At least
a second division team, right?
Yeah, at least when, you know, he went to Scotland, he went and played in the first division. Here it's not even that, and
he didn't, right? Because
technically,
Rangers had to come up still.
You're right. Technically, he didn't. He was in the second division there, but I don't know. At least it was a big club.
Yeah.
In this case, it's not a big club. It's not a top division. It's not a top league, and he's still not playing. To me, I think nothing about this has really worked out for him. So yeah, I think he needs to move on from Arsenal, and hopefully he'll play well. He'll get some looks in the U20 World Cup, and it'll earn him a contract somewhere.
We've talked about this before, but when he, a couple of years ago, more than 2 years ago now, announced that remember he had like a Twitter account that he says wasn't his, and he put out a tweet of an American flag. And then it was a little bit later announced that he did in fact get all the paperwork cleared and he was joining us. It felt like a major step for us. He still hasn't played with the full men's national team. And I was just thinking at that point, I don't know if I knew who Christian Pulisic was yet.
Nope. Didn't.
I don't think I did.
Nope.
And so, I don't know that I knew who Emerson Hyndman was yet. And
I think we knew of Hyndman at that point. Because he, at least at the youth levels, Hyndman was considered like one of the future.
Yeah.
Pulisic really kind of revealed himself at like the U17s, you know, at their World Cup. Until then, I know if you look at it now, there were people talking about him, but no, I had no clue who he was.
Leipzig is sticking with Diskerud as his guy.
The one thing I'll give Leipzig, I think it was, he said Josh Sargent should play in the Gold Cup. I can't totally disagree.
Yeah, now, I kind of agree.
Actually, I take that back. I won't say he should play in the Gold Cup. I do think he should get a call up. Like, he's looked pretty incredible at the U17 World Cup. So he's only 16, but he needs a pro job. Why not call him up, get him some time somewhere, or not the U17 World Cup, the CONCACAF Championship, excuse me. But either way, he's still not a professional. He needs a professional contract. We don't want to send this kid to college. His mind is a fine thing to waste.
That's the rallying cry.
we want him playing.
Don't let the NCAA ruin him. Yeah, guys, the Huddersfield town manager, David Wagner, is he's German American. I mean, he's got odd German or American parent. I think he grew up in Germany, but he did play for us. I think he's got like 6 or 8 caps or something like that. Seems like a promising young guy. I don't know if I totally feel right claiming him as an American, but he played for us, so why not? Yes, he's an American manager. Yeah. Messi is the next Josh Sargent. See, this is the thing with Leipzig. He throws out a good point and you praise him, and then he starts throwing out this stuff, and that's the first thing I see when I look down.
I mean, hey, I don't know that Messi was bossing the U17 CONCACAF Champions League back then the way Sargent is.
Where do you think Zelalem ends up next year? I don't think he's going to go back to this Dutch team, and I don't think he's going to go back to Arsenal. So,
I would send him to Germany, maybe Portugal. I think he needs to go someplace.
German, that's a big plus if he's going to Germany.
To me, the thing about Germany is because they do such a good job of working in youth players, maybe he gets to challenge against other youth players and he gets a chance to play them. Maybe the Netherlands.
It's just
if he can get into the top flight there.
There was a good debate on Reddit today because, people were saying, has he been a bust at this point? And it's like, well, he's 20. And somebody made the point that, Clint Dempsey wasn't even in MLS when he was 20. Clint's not really Clint's a weird example, and it's not really the way things work now. But I don't know that he's a bust, but he hasn't been as impressive as I would have hoped he would be. But I think that, there's highlight videos of that dude on YouTube that just he looks amazing in. So I guess there's still hope. I hope there's still hope. He seems like a good kid.
Well, and that's it. I mean, he is kind of a kid. He needs to get somewhere where he gets some confidence. If his attitude was anything like it looked when he was interviewed when he first got to Vitesse, he clearly wasn't happy to be there. He clearly didn't want to be there. How much of that rubbed off? How much of that affected his game? How much of that affected the coaching staff, which then affected his ability to play. So you want to see him get somewhere where people believe in him and give him a chance, and he gets actual game time. And until that happens, I mean, if that doesn't happen, sure, maybe you can call him a bust. But for the time being, come on, he's 20 years old. You can't call it. When he's 25 and this hasn't, it's still he's still at this level. Okay, yeah, I think we can call him a bust.
This is the problem with overhyping guys at this age anyway. And this is
Yeah.
why a lot of us were very careful about Pulisic until it became so painfully obvious that he was awesome that it was just like, okay, fine, he's great, you know. But with most guys that age, you shouldn't just take. We should all just take it easy a little bit. But I will. It was funny today. I thought of that interview that Zelalem gave when he showed up in the Netherlands. When I was watching I put it on our Twitter, USfanTV.com. The interview that Pulisic did with the BVB TV in what appeared to be, I think, fluent German. It seemed like he was doing a great job speaking in German. He was engaging. He was smiling. He's like a polished media pro on top of the fact that he's an awesome player and he's 18. I can't, like, I was an idiot at 18.
As opposed to now when you are totally not.
Exactly. Yes. Failure. Goes back to that dream. But yeah, it shows what we've got with Pulisic. He's just unbelievable. But you know, rattling off jokes in German and stuff like that. Yeah, I guess I'm not ready to give up on Gedion, but maybe this tournament will go a long way toward showing us what we've got in him. I'm glad he's going.
I think he is. I think he's getting this call up as, you know, it's maybe a little bit on talent, but I think it's largely sort of like for the same reason that Klinsmann used to sometimes give call-ups to players, where he wanted them to earn a contract somewhere. He wanted them to get some looks, so maybe they would get a shot someplace else. I see this as kind of being the same thing, that even if maybe he's not destined to play that much in this tournament, the idea is, well, he got called up to his national team, so somebody who's not looking that closely goes, well, hey, he's representing the U.S. at some level, so maybe we should take a chance. He can go to Turkey or something.
Maybe he's the future of Arsenal when everyone else is left.
I was just about to say, we don't know who's going to be there next season. They may need him because there's no money in. No money's going to be spent, so they're just like,
Arsenal's back,
bring him back.
Arsenal's back. Nobody else is going to be there, so
yeah.
Oh, it sucks to be an Arsenal fan right now. If we have any Tottenham fans on here, I'm sure you'll be happy to rub it in.
Just don't bring it up.
It's just so bad. The dog? Is that the dog? You're at your girlfriend's place. The dog wouldn't be there.
No, there was no dog. I don't know what you're talking about.
I thought I heard the dog.
Speaking of U20s, though, and I suppose of Pulisic, will he get a call up to the U20 World Cup?
No.
Yeah, I don't see it either. But
No.
you know, I've heard people
because he
asking
wouldn't play in the German Cup final then.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck
well,
that.
He could do it, but he couldn't make it until like the elimination rounds or something. So he'd have to at least make it out of the group, and then he could get called up. So he could, in theory, do it. But yeah, he won't be there at least for the opening rounds. He could make it later on. I suppose maybe there's a chance if it really looked like the U.S. could win it, they might go, well, all right, now we'll start bringing in the ringers or something. Like now the guys who like, well, we're just going to let them play with their clubs and get a shot. Or
well, you probably have to submit a roster ahead of time, right? They would have to. I don't think they're going to go as far as to put them on it just so they can. I
don't think you can. Yeah, I don't know that you can do that, but you can. There could be ways in which, yeah, he was like the 23rd player or something, and you know he wasn't brought along. So maybe they only take 18 or something through the opening rounds. Yeah, who knows? And then like I don't know. I'd say like guys like Haji Wright, but I assume Haji Wright might get a shot to go anyway because I don't know. Is he under 20? Like 21. I don't know exactly how old Haji Wright is. I think he's 18, 19-ish, something like that as well. But you know, guys who aren't really playing for their senior side, it's the end of the season anyway. I could see them getting a pass and getting to go. So maybe they'll get in, but otherwise, yeah, you know, they'd be the same thing where they're not going to let this kid go if they think he really has a shot to represent them.
Now, I think Jack, who we should point out does not live in Liverpool, We were wrong about that. He is an Everton fan, but he does not live in Liverpool. He asked if Pulisic would play in the Gold Cup this summer. I do think so. I think he'll be in both the Gold Cup and the definitely the World Cup qualifiers. So
I think it's a possibility. I mean, I could see where he might get a break just because he's tired or something. Because absolutely he's going to be in the World Cup qualifiers. And, you know, maybe Dortmund starts pressuring, don't get this kid injured. We want him rested because we want him playing in August or September or whatever. But at the same time, I could see, because so much of the Gold Cup I expect this time to really be up and comers or fringe players who are, you know, trying to get their shot. I could see a few guys like maybe Yedlin and Pulisic, who they have a role in the full national team, but they're also still young. You know, you send them out to build rapport with other guys, or just to have a standard. I mean, you want to have some kind of baseline so you can judge these guys against. So you can go like, okay, this position we know, like that's how I think Bradley gets called into a lot of these things, is you just know, okay, as long as he's here, you know what this position is supposed to look like. So if that position looks like shit too, then it's okay that everyone else looks bad. But if that position looks good and you still look bad, then you probably just look bad.
The guy I absolutely want to see is Emerson Hyndman at the Gold Cup. If he doesn't make
yeah.
World Cup qualifier roster, and I don't think he will, I absolutely want to see him. I would like to see Cameron Carter-Vickers as well.
I think he's a good shot at it, because if nothing else, we got to get him cap tied.
Yeah.
You know, quit, because one of these days he's going to end up playing for Spurs. And what if he comes out and he's awesome, and suddenly England's like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, lock him down.
Yeah, I think you will see him this summer as well too, probably. So not as sure of a bet, but
yeah, I don't consider him as sure, because again, it's not like I don't consider it like he's tearing things up and he's going to be at Chelsea next year, you know. I think Chelsea bought him just to sell him, or you know, just to kind of farm him out and maybe something. I mean, that's kind of all
does that though.
Yeah,
how many players do they have on loan everywhere?
That's their thing. I mean, they buy 5,000 and then let them go see what they can do, and then hey, we'll keep the good ones, we'll sell the rest.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he's truly projected to be the future there. I mean, he did look good when he was in MLS, but I don't think he's taken the step that we all hoped he would go into Europe so far. So I could see maybe him getting a call up as a way to help fill the roster, or you know, to get him accustomed to everything and maybe to get him some attention. But I think overall, we still want to see him get a better loan or go somewhere, I don't know, where he has a chance to succeed more.
Leipzig's asking about Freddie Adu, so we should probably wrap this show up. What do you think?
Yeah,
it's a good indication.
Brian, you're right. Mexico will be sending their B team, since they'll be playing the Confederations Cup. It's all but certain. The Confederations Cup is too close to the start of the Gold Cup. I don't really expect there to be much overlap at all. So yeah, this is really our Gold Cup to win. Having said that, we'll also be, I think, fielding a lesser team because of the qualifiers, because we do have a number of players who are looking good, or you know, are question worthy at their club level, but aren't necessarily going to get the call up yet to the full side.
I think with the need to win the qualifiers in September and October, because of the position we're in the Hex now, Bruce is going to want to go with for those rosters with as much of a sure thing as he can. So really his only opportunity to experiment between now and next summer's World Cup, besides the warm-up games before the World Cup, which you really want to have your roster locked down for, is this Gold Cup. This is it. This is his chance to mess around a little bit with certain guys or certain formations or whatever he wants to do. It's a priority, but I don't think we view it as much of a priority as we do qualifying for the World Cup, certainly. So, for Mexico, it's third priority this summer. Your World Cup qualifiers and your Confederations Cup would be ahead of this. So Yeah, bring in a mix. If we bring in an A- team, Mexico.
Oh, you want
might
to
be
bring
down
in
to there.
mix?
Yeah, don't bring in mix. Don't get Leipzig excited. I don't want to see
He's already been talking about him.
a mix, not mix. Let's not be
A
confused.
mix, not the mix.
All right.
One last thing.
Okay, go ahead.
FC
Fine.
Dallas goalkeeper. Is it Jesse or Jesse Gonzalez? I don't know. I mean,
Well, it's
he
probably
was
Jesse
born and
'cause he's
raised
American.
in the U.S., so I assume it's Jesse. But he does claim that he feels more Mexican. He's now voiced his opinion that he intends to, if given the chance, play for Mexico. It's not a huge surprise. I mean, he played there at youth levels, but at the same time, while yeah, he's young and maybe he shows some promise, it's not like he's a regular starter even in MLS. So it makes news because it's Mexico over the U.S. But to me, it's sort of like, okay, all right, have him, whatever.
It's like when the Germans lost Julian Green.
A little bit, yeah. You've got one about trout.
Fish from us. We have many fish. This is US Fan TV. The website is usfantv.com. At some point soon, you're going to see ads on that website because I think I've done it correctly. It's up to you, Google, now to make that happen.
Come on, Google.
We
Come
post
on,
things
Google.
on there. We might post more often. Who knows? We also have the social media. We have the Twitter. We have the Facebook. We have the Instagram. It's all US Fan TV. We hate Snapchat. Just to make that abundantly clear, we have YouTube, but you know that because you're currently watching this right now. Subscribe if you haven't. And while you're at it, tell a friend, send a text to a friend, send a Snapchat message to a friend, tell them to go on US Fan TV and subscribe and follow. Spread this shit around on Reddit like you guys do. You have been. That's awesome. It gets us more exposure. And as always, Christian, thank you for the amazing thumbnails. They get people watching who would normally be repulsed by our ugly faces. So thank you for that. Chris, do you have any final words?
Well, the only thing I can say is,
and the Craigslist, yeah.
Well,
we're on Craigslist, but we have code names on there. And with that, you're done. And we hate Wando.